Okay, picture this. It's close to midnight, and a mom's sitting down at her kitchen table, and she notices her daughter's phone lighting up on the counter. It wasn't a text, it wasn't a social media post, it was an AI chatbot. And her 13-year-old had been pouring her heart out to it about feeling invisible at school, about being scared, about not knowing who she was becoming. The question that followed that mom upstairs wasn't anger. It was, why didn't she come to me? If you have a preteen or a teen and you're feeling that quiet ache of distance, this video's for you. I'm Cindy McMillan. I'm a licensed child therapist and a mom of two. I help parents build the kind of home where kids actually want to open up. And today we're talking about AI companions with preteens and teens and their mental health, but most importantly, what you can do about it. Because the research on this is new, it's significant, and it's rapidly changing. So let's get into what's happening when it comes to AI. A 2026 report from the JED Foundation found that generative AI is now entering how young people seek help for mental health. When teens don't feel safe going to a parent or a counselor, or simply don't even know how to start the conversation, they're going to a chatbot instead. And I want to be clear about this. This isn't about blaming our kids that they're doing something wrong. They're doing what kids have always done. They're seeking information because they're curious. This is about what's happening in our developing world of AI and how it's showing up differently. Okay, so here's the problem. A 2026 study that was published found that sycophantic AI, which is AI that always validates you, always agrees with you, and never challenges you, it actually decreases healthy social behavior and increases emotional dependence. So your preteen or teen could be having hundreds of conversations with something that never, ever even pushes back against them. And a separate study in 2026 found that when AI emotionally mirrors users, this is called emotional mimicry, it makes people want to keep coming back, not because they're getting better, because it feels safe and comfortable. So, why is that problematic? Think about what that does to a teenager or preteen who is still forming their identity. They're still learning how to handle conflict. They're still building emotional skills they'll need for the rest of their life. And AI will always tell them what they want to hear. But you, as their parent, will sometimes tell them what they need to hear. That's called a relationship, and it can't be downloaded. So let's say your preteen or teen goes to an AI chatbot to talk about struggles with a peer, and the AI chatbot comes back with agreement with them that their friend is awful, that they should cut them off. That can create avoidance of responsibility taking, not building skills. Building skills, looking at other people's points of view, conflict resolution, and problem solving. Skills that are still developing in preteens and teens. Those are things that human connection and experience as a parent can provide them. So this isn't to scare you, but it's to inform you. Here's what researchers are warning. In early 2026, mental health professionals in Florida raised a specific alarm. AI chatbots are beginning to replace the role of parents and counselors in teens' emotional lives. A 2025 study in the JMIR Mental Health documented cases of what researchers are calling AI psychosis, delusional thinking that has developed from intense, unmonitored IA chatbot use. I'm not sharing this to scare you. I'm sharing it because you deserve the full picture and because the solution doesn't have to be complicated. It just requires you. Your presence in your child's life is a huge protective factor. Research on parental involvement consistently shows that when parents stay engaged, not controlling, but genuinely curious and present, preteens and teens develop healthier relationships with technology and better emotional judgment. You are your teen's most powerful protective factor. Not perfect parenting, not a parent who always says the right thing, just a present one. Because at this age, children are naturally starting to pull away from their parents, which is developmentally appropriate. But how you are still present and engaged with them matters. So, how can you talk with your preteen or teen about AI? You don't need to walk in with alarms and a prepared speech. Try coming in with curiosity. You can say something like, I've been reading some interesting stuff about AI and mental health. What do you think about all of it? Do you ever use AI to talk through stuff that's bothering you? I'm genuinely curious. Have you ever noticed that AI always seems to agree with you? Does that feel weird at all? When your child starts to talk, really listen. Don't jump in to fix anything. Just be there. You want to help build critical thinking skills without talking down. Here's another conversation worth having about helping your preteen or teen become a critical thinker about the technology they're already using. Try something like, hey, I've been reading about how these AI apps actually make their money. Want to hear something kind of surprising? And then share the facts, not as a lecture, just like telling a friend about it, something interesting you came across. I'll link some of the information that I've gathered below. It includes things like ChatGPT has begun showing ads to its free users in February 2026. Only about 8.5% of its 800 million users pay. The other 91% are the product. Meta AI, built into WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger, began using everyone's conversations to build each user's advertising profile starting in December 2025. Character.AI, one of the most popular AI companions among teens, sells ads from brands directly inside the platform. Replika was fined 5 million euros by Italy's Data Protection Authority in 2025 for collecting users' data without clear consent. Zilla Foundation found it shares users' data with third-party marketers. And a 2025 Stanford study found personal details surface easily in AI conversations and may be stored to train future AI models. Finally, a 2025 Common Sense Media survey found that 72% of teens have used AI companions, and nearly 1 in 4 admit sharing personal information like their name or location. When something is free, you are often what's being sold. The more your preteen or teen shares their fears, their relationships, their insecurities, the more valuable that data becomes to companies whose business models depend on knowing exactly who they are. After you share some information like this with them, you could ask them, does knowing that change how much you share with it? That's not fear, that's wisdom. And you're the one who gets to teach it. So here's your parent action guide. The American Psychological Association published a health advisory in February 2026 specifically about preteens and teens and AI chatbots. It's called Your Teen Turn to AI Instead of You, What Experts Say Parents Can Do. And here are 6 things you can start doing right now, drawn from that advisory and the broader research. First, talk about privacy, honestly and early. Explain to your preteens and teens that chatbots may store what they share, and that data can be used in ways they'd never expect, not as a scare tactic, just as facts worth knowing, the same way you'd tell them not to give their address to a stranger online. Second, build relationships before the crisis arrives. Don't wait for AI to become a problem in your house before you invest in connection. Teens turn to chatbots instead of their parents, not because they love technology more than they love you. It's because something about coming to you feels risky, or they don't have the words yet. The relationship you build right now, through small moments and through low stake conversations, is the foundation they'll fall back on when something hard happens. Opening those conversations now lets them know you're willing to talk about it. Set rules together, don't just hand them down. The APA specifically recommends co creating technology boundaries with your teen rather than imposing them. Teens follow rules that they helped make. So try something like, what do you think is a fair limit on AI use for our family? You might be surprised how reasonable they are. If you need some help with guidelines, I've created a family screen time plan linked below. Next, watch for red flags. Things like AI replacing real friendships, your teen prefers chatting with an AI over time with their peers, sleep being interrupted, late night conversations with AI cutting into their sleep and rest, or withdrawal from real life. Maybe they have less interest in family activities or things they used to enjoy. There might be emotional escalation, maybe more anxiety, isolation, or distorted thinking after AI use, and secrecy about AI conversations, like hiding the screen or becoming defensive when asked about it. None of these alone is cause for alarm, and I want to be clear about that. But if anyone is persistent, it's worth a regulated, curious conversation with them. Next, foster real connection with your family. Deliberately share meals without phone. Go for a walk. Watch a show together. Have device free time that isn't framed as a punishment, but as something your family values. Connection happens in the margins of life, in the car, at the table, in the 5 minutes before bed. Those ordinary moments where trust gets built and where your teen or preteen decides whether you're someone they can come to. Next, know when to get professional help. And this is important. AI cannot handle a crisis. If your child is really struggling, signs of depression, anxiety, self harm, or withdrawal, a chatbot is not a substitute for professional support. It can't assess risk, it can't follow up, and the research shows it may make things worse. You don't have to be certain something is wrong to ask for help. Asking for help is always okay. So reach out to a school counselor, your pediatrician, or a therapist. That's what they're there for. So that mom I told you about at the beginning of this story, she didn't confront her daughter that night. She left a note on the kitchen counter. It said something like, I'm here. I'm ready whenever you want to talk. It's just me and you. 3 days later, her daughter did come to her and talk about what was going on. That's what no chatbot can offer. And you already have everything it takes to be that person for your child. And if this resonated with you, please share it with another parent who needs to hear it because it takes a village. And don't forget to like and subscribe.